Hey guys, so it looks like Indue's failing people and their rents again. So I've just posted or approved a post for the no cashless debit card Hinkler region page where somebody's trying to catch up on some rent. And obviously Indue is not going to be very helpful. I'll just read it for you. So this person was just on the phone to someone from Services Australia, and the guy that she spoke to was no help at all. Why does that not surprise me? I was calling as I had to upload an email from my landlord saying I'm a week behind in rent, and then to call back to say I've uploaded it and needed an extra $300 to pay my late rent. I wonder how she got the late rent, because everybody's behind on rent who's on the Indue card. You know what I mean? Doesn't surprise me at all. All he told me is that the form that she did are no longer accepted anymore, and they'll process her form and they'll call her if they need anything else. Didn't exactly help with what she was ringing up for. You know what I mean? You know, this is just crap. Yeah, she's trying to... We've had this before where people have had money stuck in the card. They've needed money to pay the 2 weeks rent in advance when they've moved. They've needed money to... They won't let you catch up on the rent. They won't let you have extra. You know, some people tried to do like they used to do before they got put on the card. They wanted to pay extra in rent so that they could get further ahead. No, you can't do that either. So it's like... Everybody I've spoken to on the card, right, has at one stage or another been behind in rent, been reduced to zero without any reason, right? They say that they do that every 6 months, but they don't give any notice. They require resubmission of your lease and all your documents every 6 months, even though you may be on a 12-month lease. But they just cancel your housing allowance, and they don't tell you until you go to try and pay your rent, and then it's declined. Then it's 4 days stuff around, which lands you a week behind in rent by the time they get it stuffed around. You know, this is just crazy, but we already know what it's like, don't we? So, bit of a busy day to start, you know, today with that, and we saw a bit earlier how Samantha's husband works full-time, but he's casual, so he hasn't been paid properly in donkeys, you know. He got paid this week, and he didn't have any work last week. So instead of getting his normal 80-20 split, bear in mind that this is a couple, so they're on a partnered rate of job seeker. He got $420 on his Indue card and $67 in his normal account. The figures don't add up. He should have got 420 plus 67 equals 487. So he should have got 97.40 into his personal account. So where's the rest gone? You mean? We know they like to keep odd cents, because after Jodie got off the card and her mishap with Optus refunding some money to her card, and she ringing up saying, can I please have that money back? They did it in such a way that they transferred the money, but they left 30 cents in the account, which shouldn't be even open. You know, it should not even be open. She's not on the card. That account should not be held open, right? They deliberately did not transfer the 30 cents, which was the odd amount. If I remember correctly, the bill was $121.30 they were supposed to send back to her. They sent her back $121, but they did it in the way that they do it. She got charged a $10 fee by her bank for receiving that money back from Indue. You know, so this was wrong. It was a refund that wasn't supposed to even go to that card, but that's the way it went. But they made damn sure she had to pay a $10 fee. Not them, but her bank charges that because it's I forget the name of the payment type, but it's because it's outside the normal banking sector that the banks can charge this fee. Much like a IBAN transaction, which is an international funds transfer. Your bank will charge you $10 and make you wait 28 days for clearance. Doesn't that ring any bells? Anyway, so yeah. So while I'm here, I may as well talk about it. In the Fraser Coast Chronicle today, we have a housing crisis, right? We have homelessness like you wouldn't believe. We have tent city in Harvey Bay, right? Hang on just a second. Hang on, people. I'll be there in a second. It's all right. I just had to let somebody know. So we have a tent city in Harvey Bay. And everybody's going, oh, why is that? Well, we've moved up to number 2 for homelessness. Wonder why that is. Let me give you some ideas. It's a combination of factors, but Indue does play a fairly big part of this. And so does the LNP, of course. So in January 2019, they cut the emergency funding for organisations that could provide help with rent assistance for people that were at risk of being homeless if they got behind in rent or were facing a Form 12 or whatever, right? So that reduced homelessness. Then on the 29th of January 2019, the cashless debit card rolls in with all of its problems, and everybody automatically falls behind in rent, trying to set it all up and get through all the approvals and the permissions and work out who's allowed to pay rent and who's not, and who can access the cash and who can't, right? But then those services were gone. They couldn't go to them for help. So over the course of the last 2 years, I've met several families that have been made homeless as a result of too many late payments, too many times the card's been reduced to 0 allowance on your rent. You have to resubmit all the paperwork. Some families have been going through this every fortnight, every month, every 3 months, every 6 months. Landlords have had enough of it, right? And we've heard sort of, they won't come out and say it, but they've said it to tenants. One owner turned around and said they'll never rent to somebody on an Indue card again because they can't handle how late the rent gets, and then they're paying the default fees with their mortgage payment being late. Another owner in WA made it very clear he will not rent to Indue card or Basics card holders at all for the same reasons. He has to pay his mortgage on time or he gets default fees. All right, so it is a big factor in a card region, and we need to find out just how many of these people are homeless as a result of being pushed out of their housing because of being on the card. Seriously, it's now becoming a barrier to getting housing. So your real estate agent can use the excuse to say that the rent is above 30% of your income, so they can't rent it to you because it'll put you in financial stress. So that the real estate agent will use that because they can't be done for discrimination on that. But if the owner's telling the real estate agent no Indue, the real estate agent can't say that. If they do, you can sue them for discrimination. Okay, but it's become very obvious that the Indue card in the regions is a barrier to getting housing. I know of parents that are renting properties that they pay more than what the 30% lock-off is. They can't get other properties, and they've been given notice to move, and they can't get anything because even though they might be paying $350 a week and have done for years, their cap amount is $280 a week, and real estates won't let them go over the $280. So it is rather ridiculous what's going on. There's a little bit of debate going on over on the Fraser Coast Chronicle page in regards to, what's caused this. So I paint it as the perfect storm. You've got people on Social Security that are on a cashless debit card have got a double whammy. First off, they can't meet the 30% cap. They're all under it. So, the payments are so low on all payments now, and rent's also high that they miss out anyway. But for those on the cashless debit card, they've got the double whammy of the minute the owner finds out they're on the Indue card, no, that's it. Barrier, right? Simple as that. All the stuff ups over the last 5 years in total, real estates and owners aren't blind. They do know it happens. And there's only so much patience they can have. So you've got that. You've got the market's being sort of like told to sell now. So we've got a lot of houses that are empty, that are off the rental market, right, because they're up for sale. A lot of people have been displaced because the owners are coming back to renovate, to sell, okay? And then on top of that, you've got the house prices, the rentals have gone up as well. So you've got all of those factors playing in, which is creating homelessness. And because nobody's got anywhere to go, working or not. You know, it's just not about a person's character or a person's addictions or anything like that. It is simply a case of they can't afford rent, and there isn't enough rental properties to be able to rent. They can't afford a home. You know, 65% of Sydney's homeless work full time. Remember that, you know what I mean? So, and they're people that are rough sleepers. We shouldn't have families in tents and cars anywhere in this country. The year is 2021, not 1821. By now, that brilliant public housing system they built throughout the 50s and 60s that gave lifelong stability, right, for people and was affordable, right, that has been sold off over the last 30 years because of the elevated, you know, land values and property values thanks to the Howard government, right, and developers getting in on the game and everything like that. They've destroyed all of that. But for the brief period in the 50s until the say the 90s, before they started really hammering it down, selling off so much housing stock, people had the ability to be stable. And they had the ability to actually even transfer that when mum and dad died to a immediate family member, to keep families stable, to keep people in housing. But they've sold it all off. Money, 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 money. And this all needs to change. It needs to change. I don't know what it's going to take to change. Hinkler is now number 2 for homelessness. Last month it was number 3. Now it's number 2. Well done, Keith Pitt. Because he cannot sit back and go, oh, it's nothing to do with me. Because he brought a policy into the region that he was warned would do these things, would affect people's ability to pay rent, would cause people to be evicted, right? Would cause people to lose housing. And they didn't want to listen. Now he has to wear it. What are the federal government going to do about it? Zippo. Oh, it's a state problem. But it doesn't help when they've cut something like $41 billion away from the states for housing. So, I'm sorry, this lies at the feet of the federal government for not doing their part with giving the state governments the funding to be able to provide the housing. That's what it's supposed to do. Again, we see the LNP and Scott Morrison shirking their responsibilities to the Australian people. Right? And it's because it's crazy. It's... Anyway, we'll put the link for the Fraser Coast Chronicle into the comments here so you can have a look. I can't read the story because I'm not a subscriber. I don't pay Murdoch for anything if I can avoid it. So, yeah. I might take a drive a bit later and go and see if I can find any of these people and see if I can have a chat to them and see what, you know, if there's any families there that have been impacted by Indue. Be interesting, hey? Okay, guys, I'll talk to you later. See ya.